I've been working on putting in this brick along here, and we are at the point where we're going to cut some brick. And you can see right here how we're going to choose to cut this. And I want to show you today how to cut it without what kind of tool? Power tools, that's what they're called. And we're going to try this. So, first thing you do is you get your trusty hammer. Then, get yourself your brick that you want to make. Get yourself a chisel. I just took this. This is the same chisel that I'm using from my drill, the hammer drill, whatever it's called, SDS Max. I'm just going to use the same bit. It's not going to damage or mushroom the end because I'm using a wood here, hammer, mallet. Okay, we want to put this right here, like that. And we want to grab the same angle. So I'm going to put my distance right there, and I'm actually going to move it over a little more because I want some space. And I'm going to put a mark for the angle where this is going to go. So we've got a mark here. I don't know if you can see that. And a mark here. And I'm going to just kind of score across. That is, if I can actually find my line. Like that. So now we want to, once we get our line close to where we want it, take a knife or something, chisel, score it a couple times. Now we're going to put our marks in so we know where to come at on the top. Okay, so this mark and this mark now line up closely. I'm going to score it a couple more times. I hope it's not too windy in your microphone. It is extremely windy out here. Okay, that's good enough for the scoring process. Now we're just going to do that. So the brake knows where to happen. And doing this, we're just training the stones of where to brake at. I'm getting dirt in my eyes. Okay. And this is the side we're going to do most of our chiseling on, but it doesn't take very long. If I had a lot of these, I would probably use some kind of a power tool. But I don't have a lot of these. I just have a few. And this might even be my last one. Okay? We just go along, tap it. Doesn't even have to be a metal hammer. In fact, I'd prefer it's not in this case, because I don't want my bit to mushroom. Stuff in my garage is blowing all over. I really don't want to do real hard blows because I want to train this more than just splitting it apart. And this line right here, they already know where it's going to crack at. And we're just going to help it along. Okay, we'll come back over to this side now and do a couple more. That one's not quite as straight. Okay. And that is how you cut a brick. Right along the angle that you want. Not too bad. What I'm doing here is I'm putting the brick along the concrete, which you can tell, but I'm specifically using my hands to feel for levelness across this to make sure that they're in alignment. You can use levels and strings, but sometimes just feeling them is the best. I'm trying to keep it flat with the concrete, and then we're going to fill it in right around it like this with the stone. Now this is called 411 stone or 411 limestone. And what happens is this stuff gets wet and it turns to something similar to concrete. So right here is the 411 stone when it gets wet. Okay? It actually, it's crumbly right now because it's actually wet, but that's what it does, is it packs real tight, and here it's really loose. When water gets it, it just bonds together. And so that is what we're going to use, almost like a mortar, but I want to use this instead of a concrete, so that way if it needs to shift, it can, and then it'll harden back up, like this. And we're just going to break it up for right now, because it forms to what you need it to form to. We're using the brick itself to flatten the base down, and that's what we also use to level it all out here. I've also backfilled some dirt up against here, and I'm going to be adding more shortly from all the dirt that's right there. That way the liner or edging isn't putting all the weight that way. Depending on where you're at, they call this stuff different. River pack, or I don't know. I've heard lots of different names for it. But in this case, we're told it's known universally as 411 limestone. And now when it gets wet, the base will stay in place. We put a plastic liner down first so weeds don't grow up through it, but water can still drain. And that's what this is here. So what do you think? Is this the wrong way to do it? Would you actually use concrete? Or would you use something else? Here's another thing. After a couple rains, it actually cleans up like that, rather than the dirty look. I had one of them crumble like this. And if a brick looks like this, where it has all these fissures in it, and isn't a good seal like this one right here, you can see the difference. This will cut much more accurately than this one. But you can also see, I just cut this one right here, and I just scored it a couple times, and it only took a couple of blows. And it was cut right with no problem. So it's really not too difficult to use old-fashioned methods. Some people might consider them primitive. I don't think it's primitive. It worked just fine. Much faster than actually running a power tool that cuts brick.
And what video would not be complete without changing the mower blades as fast as possible?
We are going to change mower blades, and I believe using the tractor is a great way to do it. It keeps the ridge up on the wheel. It's probably not, I don't know, some people might say I'm doing it wrong. It might be dangerous, I don't know, but it seems to work. We're going to use the impact wrench. Okay. First one changed. Okay. Okay. Second one changed. Third one changed. Okay. Oops, where'd you go? Okay. That does not take long with the impact wrench. Takes longer to clean up the grass off by far. And the tractor bucket does a fantastic job. Then we'll go in and we'll file these down, sharpen them up with the file, and have them all ready for the next time.